my name is Katie. You can find me on Instagram at Gabe and Zach and at my blog at gabeandzack.com. Today I'm going to go through the steps on how to construct the Sinclair Skylar hoodie in just the front pocket portion. We've had some questions about how that is constructed, and I thought today would be a great day to show you and walk you through the steps. So the first thing that you need to do is have your pattern printed and your fabric cut out. So for this tutorial, you'll need 3 pieces. You are going to need your front side piece, which will be in this floral. It is cut on the fold right here. So it looks like this. You are going to need the pocket lining piece, also cut on the fold. I'm using a black cotton lycra for that. And then you are going to need your front top piece, also cut on the fold, which I'm going to use this black and white striped dry fit. So once you have all those pieces cut and ready, then you're ready to start on the assembly of the front. The first step is to stabilize with interfacing. So I have cut a 1 by 1 inch square of interfacing. This is fusible interfacing, and this actually came on a roll. It is tricot fusible interfacing that I purchased from Warwick. It's 1 inch wide. So I cut that into a 1 by 1 square, and that's going to go onto the wrong side of your front side pieces. Just here at the small corner, kind of angled here. This is just so that this is reinforced. We're going to cut a little notch into this eventually, and we want to make sure that these corners have enough support for that. So I will place those there, and then I'll take that over to my iron and get those pressed on. Next, we need to reinforce for the pocket. So I have my front top piece. This is wrong side up. And then I am going to place interfacing along the pocket edge. Now, a good trick here is you can pre-cut this out just by using the pocket lining and cut along the curved portion. You're really just going to need about a 1 inch wide piece of interfacing that's curved. So I'm going to take this up to here and then cut it off. And I'll do the same for the other side. I will go ahead and press this as well onto the wrong side so that this is reinforced for the pocket. And then I will be good to go. Thing to note that I didn't mention about the interfacing is that if you are using a very heavyweight material, it is not recommended to add the interfacing to the wrong side of the front top. That is because it will make it too bulky and difficult to sew. So the next step we're going to do is we are going to attach the pocket lining to the front sides. So if you notice, there are dots on your pocket lining piece up here. We are going to first start off by marking those dots on the pocket lining. Since I'm using a black material, I am actually going to just use a straight pen to mark mine. Otherwise, if you're using a lighter material, something like a chalk pen or anything like that would help also. Okay, there's one. Now my pattern piece shows 2 dots just because I'm actually have 2 sizes printed here, but I am following the lighter dot on the far outer side. So now what we're going to do is take the right sides together. So we will line up the notches that we have marked already. And I'm going to clip there. So I have the wrong side of the pocket lining facing up, and the so the right sides are together. So now I have those clipped in place. Now you'll see that the pins are actually right on your seam allowance. You are going to have a 1/4 inch from the pin to the outer edge, and where this pin is actually where you're going to stop stitching. So now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, or probably my sewing machine first, and then I'll finish it off with my serger. But I'm going to stitch from here at 1/4 inch seam allowance, in from the side and down from the top, and go all the way across and stop and back stitch again at this other pin. So now that we have this stitched, it's kind of hard to see, but basically what I did was a zigzag stitch, and then I finished it off with the serger. I wanted to do that so I had crisp, clean corners, which is going to be key for the next step. So the next thing you need is you need your snips. You're going to cut into the corner 1/6 inch without cutting through. Okay, so this is just going to allow us some ease and movement for our princess seams. Okay, just a little snip. Alrighty, so now is the part that I would consider, or most people would consider, the tricky part. So we're going to line this all up. So the first thing you're going to do is put your front top down. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit more. Right side up. So this is the bottom where the pocket lining is. See that a little bit better? Alrighty. And then what we're going to do is we are going to lay our front sides right side up, okay? And then what we do is we pick up here and we flip it underneath, okay? So I'll show you on the other side. So we take the top portion and the bottom and we flip it underneath. We need to make sure that these side panel pieces are underneath and out of the way. So if I was to flip this over, this is not what you continue doing. But if you look at it from the wrong side, you're going to see that these are all tucked underneath here. We don't want to catch this portion of when we're sewing. So now what we're going to do is you flipped those under, and we are going to start attaching, clipping, or pinning this together. So we are going to use, I use clips, but we are going to clip from the complete bottom all the way around the pocket lining. And you know how you just made that little clip? That is going to allow some ease so that you can have a flat seam here at the princess. So I'll go up to the top, line up. And there's a notch over here we're gonna line up. So in regards to right here, we want this to be flat. Right now, mine's kind of puckering a little bit, so I am going to clip into it a tiny bit more. So make sure that your underneath here, see this portion? Make sure it's out of the way. We will have a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you have about that much room. Okay, and I'm going to do the same process on the other side. You want to make sure you do not clip this too much, because if you do, what's going to happen is there will be a hole when you use your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So one trick that I'm going to say to do is at this point, am going to reach inside my pocket lining. I'm going to gather up all of these pieces that are coming down from here, and I'm going to kind of twist them and clip them to the center. Clip or pin. Basically, this is trying to hold them in and away from my seams. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to my serger. You can use your sewing machine, and I am going to start up here at the top and go all the way down as one continuous seam line all the way down to here. Stop, and then I'm going to do another serge along here. So I'm going to do both sides. It should be a flat continuous seam all the way down, and then turn and go down the bottom of the pocket. You want to make sure when you're getting here that these are flat. If they twist, it's not going to lay as nicely once we flip it around. So I am going to do that, and I'll be right back to show you how you turn it. So I have gone ahead and done my serge all the way down from the top, all the way down to the pocket point, and then I serged off, and then I went straight down on both sides. So now we need to turn this right side out. So you can do this from either direction. Make sure to unclip if you've clipped your excess fabric, but I just prefer to pull from the center. And then, so it looks like this, okay? And then you can just reach inside and pull your pocket down. So at this point, this is where you're gonna wanna do a nice press on your pocket, your top portion. So you'll wanna pull out your corners. Let's see if I can get this better in here. You wanna pull out these corners, press this really nicely. And then if you want to, you can choose to top stitch the pocket opening at this point, so right along here. So to do that, what you would do is you would pull this down so it was a knot together. You would press and then you would top stitch just to this portion right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go do a press, get this all ready. I don't think I'm going to top stitch right there, but I am going to press it for sure. And then I'll show you how we attach these pieces together. So now that we have it all pressed, we need to pin the pocket into place and actually attach the pocket. So what I'm gonna do is put my straight pins in so that the pocket knows where it's supposed to lay. It should match up on the bottom, but it looks like I had some stretching issues. So once I get my pockets into place, I'm going to top stitch and secure it in place. So I chose not to do the optional top stitching right here on the pocket opening. That's perfectly fine. One thing I would recommend, and Oksana recommends, is to put a bar tack at the top of each pocket opening on either side. This is going to ensure that your princess seam doesn't rip out, and also that your pocket kind of stays in place. I will be doing that. So then the next thing you're going to need to do is do the top stitching. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. What this is going to look like is on your sewing machine with a short straight stitch, you are going to start right here. You are going to then do a short line up to here, across to the corner, and then all the way back down with back stitch at the end. This is going to help reinforce the bottom of the pocket, but it's also placing this together. So this is how it's going to hold the front of the pocket in there. You'll do the same thing, but the opposite direction on the other side. On this side, you start about an inch down from the corner along the side seam. You go up at an angle, you go back to the corner to the left, and then you go all the way back down. And that should get that in place. I will do that and then show you the finished portion, and then at that point your front panel will be completed and you'll be able to move on with the rest of the construction. And there you have it, my completed front panel for the Skylar hoodie. So then the next steps will just be the regular construction. So this is a raglan style, so I will go ahead and add the sleeves and the back piece and then work on my hood. It doesn't matter which hood option or cowl option you choose, it's going to be the same construction. And here are my pockets. Obviously my top stitching can always be improved. This is a little bit of a slicker material since it's a dry fit, but it worked all the same. And now I have my pocket piece. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, or if you need any additional tutorial help or suggestions, please feel free to comment as well. Have a great day.